I, 45 male, share a daughter, nearly adult female, and son, teen female, with my wife, 41. My wife's best friend, 40 female, has 2 daughters, a female, 18, and a teen female. My wife's best friend moved to our town about 6 years ago. My wife and the best friend have been not so subtly pulling for the 2 teens to end up together. I find this weird and low-key creepy. About 2 years ago, my wife's best friend's youngest daughter appeared to have developed a crush on our son. My son talked to me about it and he had 0 interest. So we discussed how to tactfully but firmly let her down. She's approached him again a number of times over the last couple of years, and he's reaffirmed his lack of interest. My wife's best friend's oldest daughter turned 18 this past summer. Her parents went all out for her birthday. It was a whole weekend of festivities and events. One of the events was a couple's dinner for the oldest daughter and all her friends in couples. The younger daughter of wife's best friend wanted to go to the dinner, but didn't have anyone to go with. She asked my son, and he agreed to go, but only his friends and just this one time. So they went together. After the dinner, the couples will watch 10 Things I Hate About You together. It was my son's first time seeing it, and he commented that he thought the Heath Ledger singing scene was cool. This will be important later. My business partner, 44 male, has thrown a huge Halloween party every year for the last 5 years. All our employees are invited along with close friends and family. The party requires a costume. At this party, there are prizes for the best individual costume, group costume, and couples costume. My wife's best friend and her family are invited every year. So let me get to the reason I'm here. About a month ago, my son is at school, and my wife's best friend's younger daughter comes towards him with a whole song and dance routine. She ends it by asking to be her date for the Halloween party. My son was so frustrated and reiterate for everyone to hear that he wasn't interested in her like that at all. Of course, it being high school, some kids laughed and she ran off crying. She's been bullied pretty badly because of it. My wife's best friend is livid and thinks our son owes her a daughter an apology. My wife agrees and thinks at a minimum, he needs to defend her against the bullying. My son has said that for 2 years. He has told her that he's not interested and has reiterated it repeatedly. At this point, he thinks it's kind of harassing to him, and it's not his role to defend her harassment of him. I agree with my son. My wife and I have had a number of disagreements about it since it happened. Well, things have intensified in the last couple of weeks or so because another girl whose wife's best friend's daughter does not like asked our son to be her date for the party and he agreed. They're doing a pretty dope couple's costume. This has really made my wife angry because she thinks he should at least not go to the party with another girl out of respect. I think that's ridiculous. I plan on driving them to the party with me. My wife now doesn't want to go to the party and is saying I'm an idiot and raising our son to be one. Not the idiot, and your wife is being utterly ridiculous. I cringe so hard when I read about her method of asking out that I created a temporary singularity of secondhand embarrassment. Poor girl got set up for truly devastating public humiliation. Instead of being weirdos and shipping their children, they should have had clear conversations with her that consent is just as important as our own feelings. Consent goes both ways. It's also detrimental to the daughter of BFF. She needs to accept the rejection happens and it's okay. He doesn't like her, and had she recognized that earlier, she would have saved herself the embarrassment that she endured at school. Her mother and Opie's wife set her up for failure. I would call this harassment, especially the song and dance in public after being turned down in private for 2 years. It comes across like she did it in public to pressure him into saying yes. I wouldn't be surprised if those two knew her plan to ask him and encouraged it. I bet any amount of money that Opie's wife and the best friend have been egging her on. I wouldn't even be surprised if the wife had commented things like, "He's just shy. I know he really likes you. I'm his mom. I know these things," etc. Update. Am I the idiot for not supporting my wife's decision to punish our son for refusing to date her best friend's daughter? Given the events of the past couple of weeks, I wanted to give an update. My wife didn't come to the Halloween party. I took my son and his friend, and they had a great time. Unfortunately, they only came in fourth in the couple's costume voting. After the party, tensions with my wife died down considerably. She still felt what I did was wrong, but she took her "what is done attitude. The bullying at school has gotten more intense. My wife's best friend's daughter confronted the girl who my son did take to the Halloween party. That escalated the bullying from other girls, and two factions have formed among the girls in two grades over this, and it's gotten out of hand. Some accusations are being thrown around about cheating at my son by various girls. My son has been unbothered because all his truly good friends know the truth. Last Friday, we got a call from the school wanting to meet with us about the situation, since my son was the source, their words not mine, of the issues. We met with some of the administration and one of the teachers on Tuesday. They wanted my son to help the situation by defending my wife's best friend's daughter to their classmates. He refused and talked extensively about her harassing behavior over the past 2 years. They pushed against his description of her conduct, but we ended up meeting with my son, promising to provide a list of her harassment over the past 2 years. My son prepared the list Tuesday evening and showed it to his mother and me. When my wife saw the list, it was like scales fell from her eyes. She got emotional, apologized to our son and me, and we had a good group hug. She's now a 100% on our side. She asked us if she could share the list with her best friend. My son agreed. My wife's best friend's response was to double down. My wife is going low contact for the time being. On Wednesday, we took the list to the school. It's a private school with a strict code of conduct for students in and out of school. So there's a possibility that the best friend's daughter may have some type punishment for her behavior. I took my son out of school for the day, and we hung out all day. Just dropped him back off at school today. So this is the update. Still not the idiot. I wonder what your wife's response would have been if your son was a daughter and this exact scenario had played out. Oh, wait. I don't have to guess. Your son may forgive her, but he will never forget that she didn't have his back. And the school immediately believes the girl over the boy. Not a surprise at all. Note, I'm a retired teacher, and if I had a son in today's world, there's no way I'd send him to a public school or any co-ed school. Boys are vilified for no other reason than that they're boys. Consent is for everyone, and harassment is not limited to gender. I, 27 female, have always been close with my parents, but lately I've been feeling frustrated with them. Last year, I got a large work bonus, and after months of saving and budgeting, I was planning to finally use it for a vacation I've been dreaming of. I've been putting it off for years because I've always been the one to help when my parents needed financial assistance. Well, this year, I thought things were different. My parents also received a bonus, at least as large as mine, and they promised to use it wisely. Instead, they've blown it all on unnecessary purchases, expensive electronics, a new car for my mom, and even a week-long stay at a luxury resort. I didn't mind initially because I thought, it's their money, let them enjoy it. However, a few weeks ago, they came to me saying they were struggling with bills and asked if I could lend them some money. I was shocked, but I agreed to help at first. I gave them a smaller amount, thinking they might have just hit a rough patch. But the next month, they came back asking for more. And then again and again. They started saying, we've always been there for you. You should help us now. The guilt trip started with them saying that I should support my family in need, especially since I have a steady job and my finances are stable. At first, I felt bad, but the more they came back to me asking for money, the more I started questioning if I was being used. When I told them that I really needed to hold on to my bonus for future plans, they accused me of being selfish and uncaring. My dad, who's always called me the responsible one, started to criticize me for not living up to the family standard of helping out where it counts. I can't shake the feeling that they've mismanaged their finances, and now they want me to bail them out. I don't want to be the one to enable them, but the guilt of not helping them keeps creeping in. My friends have been telling me that I should just let them figure it out on their own, but my mom keeps texting me saying how ashamed she is that I won't help and that she's disappointed in me. Am I the idiot for not sharing my bonus with them? You are the idiot. Stop enabling your parents and stop telling them when you get bonuses. You know you're being manipulated and you're not helping them. They will continue to waste their money and yours as long as you let them. Your mom can sell her new car, which she didn't need if they're that hard up for money. Yep, they're not asking for help. They're demanding a constant bailout. They want OP to constantly rescue them from their bad financial choices. They're treating OP like an ATM instead of their child and have the goal to say, she's disappointing them. To quote an old modeling post elsewhere, no, it's you disappointing me. If they see OP as a cash cow, then they're not interested in a family relationship with OP, only in how much she can subsidize them. Honey, they did not mismanage their finances. They banked on you giving them money. They spent because they knew you would come through. The narrative that they're struggling with might even be lies. Consider going low or no contact. Tell your mother you're ashamed of her and how she's so bad with money. Tell your dad that he should start acting like the responsible one in his own house. Under no circumstances should you give them any more money ever. I, 28 female, have a girlfriend 27. My girlfriend is extremely picky with her coffee. She hates hot coffee or coffee without a crap ton of milk. Both my girlfriend and I have separate finances. Whenever my girlfriend texts me that her day is boring or stressful, I will Uber Starbucks to her work so she can have a coffee and a cake pop. I can afford to do it, and she absolutely loves it whenever I surprise her at work with a sweet treat. I've been doing it for the past couple of months with no issues. A few days ago, my girlfriend came home and told me she absolutely loves Starbucks and doesn't want me to stop. But there's some of the other women have started to kick up a fuss over it. And from what my girlfriend was able to gather, the women think my girlfriend is rubbing in their face that she gets treated to a nice drink every few days. It started to cause some issues in the break room due to some of the women being incredibly jealous. I'm wondering if I stop a while or continue doing it. Don't stop. These women are clearly jealous, but I find it alarming that they feel the need to make your girlfriend feel bad about it. If I were in their spot, would I be jealous? Yeah, probably. But you never ever catch me making her feel bad. That's ridiculous. She's lucky to have such a sweet girlfriend. Unless it's the higher-ups giving her a hassle, I don't see a reason to stop. Let them be angry. You might not like to hear this, but it's entirely possible your girlfriend is oblivious to how much she may be bragging, which could be what's breeding resentment. You're never going to get the truth from her if that's the case, and you're not going to speak to her coworkers, but I wouldn't assume anything of anyone involved. In your shoes, I would send the whole office a treat to share one day. You're not wrong for doing what you've been doing, but maybe something for the jealous ladies who want love would be nice too. Just a thought. Just know it would make it even worse. They'd expect it happen every time she got something delivered and make even more of a fuss. You know, already they're petty. Not really win with people like that. OP, it's time to up the ante. Send flowers, chocolate-covered strawberries, and a singing telegram. Maybe not. Good people would be happy for her, and you don't need to worry about other kinds of people. I, 19 males, suffered from cancer while I was only 12. I had a lot of people there for me, but the one who was there for me the most was my best friend, 19 female. She was by my side the whole time whenever I had to go to hospital for chemotherapy treatment. She was always there messaging me, making sure I was okay. When I arrived back at school, I joined the drama club, which was after school and lasted about an hour and a half. There was one guy in this club that I didn't get along with at all. I'm gay and have known for a while. After a month of being back at school, I told my closest friends and they were all supportive. But like everything in high school, word got around to other students. And to be honest, I didn't mind all too much, but this guy in the club found out and was extremely toxic towards me, telling me I should leave the school because no one would want to talk to me anymore, and started bringing up hurtful stuff about my cancer I had not long beat, such as it should have taken your life, and it's a shame you beat it. Fast forwarding to now, we're celebrating 6 years of me being clear of it. We have a meal every year to celebrate, and it usually consists of me, my family, my boyfriend, 22, who I've been with for almost 2 years, and my closest friends. My best friend started dating this guy 5 months ago, and I found out a few weeks into their relationship that it was the same guy who had said all that hurtful stuff to me 6 years ago. I spoke to her about it and agreed to give him another chance, as she seemed genuinely happy with him and insisted he changed. We still don't get along, but I don't interfere with their relationship, as she is the happiest she's been for a while. She then asked a few days ago if he could come to the meal that I would have for being 6 years clear. I was hesitant and told her that as much as I was happy for her being with someone she liked, he was awful to me in high school, and I couldn't forgive him for what he was like. I also told her that he still doesn't like me, as he made that obvious about a month ago when he said something to another close friend about me and my boyfriend. She's now calling me childish and started saying I should just forget about it. She also said if he doesn't come, she isn't going either. I don't know what to do, and I don't know whether to forget everything and let him join in the meal or deny her request for him to join and deal with the consequences of her not joining either. So am I the idiot for not forgetting what he'd done and denying my friend's request for him to join? Not the idiot. Something you will learn in life, especially being gay, is that you have to hold a boundary with abusive people. Your friend is probably simply too young. Tell her this guy was and continues to be horrible to you and holds hate for views about you. So he's not welcome at your celebration. Tell her that it hurts that this behavior is not a deal breaker for her, but you're choosing to prioritize her happiness. If you really want to drive the point home, ask her this. If you and this guy get married and have kids and one of those kids comes out as gay, do you really think your child would be safe or even allowed to be in your house? Yeah, he told me I should have died of that cancer. He never retracted that statement. Therefore, he will not be invited to a celebration of me not dying of cancer, and I don't know why you'd want to be. Does she even realize the things this idiot said to you? She's overlooking it and forgiving it because he's changed. Personally, I wouldn't even see that person as a friend. He said horrible things to you back then, continues to say awful things about you, and your friend dares to ask if he can join something he was sad to see happen, namely you beating cancer. I hope you hear me when I say this. That is not your friend. You deserve better. You're not being childish. Keep your boundaries firm.